Well, things did definitely not go to plan this morning. Today's motive bike ride called for a 36-minute interval, basically some sprints, which I'm not supposed to record, and normally I just do around whatever RV park we're staying at. But the RV park we're at now is fairly small and very tight. Not a lot of places to do some sprints on a bicycle. So I thought, well, we got to find a different place to do it. So here we are. The plan was also to not record these rides, only my long weekend ride. But as you can see, the scenery has changed a little bit since the last video. And that's because we have moved on in our travels and we are now in Williamsburg, Virginia. And I just could not pass up a chance to film a bike ride through downtown Colonial Williamsburg. My plan was to ride a section of the Colonial Parkway Trail, but it is closed for construction, at least the part I was planning on riding. I'm hoping we can connect to it up here a little bit further, get back on it. And we'll try to do some sprints the best we can. My plan was to also play with the camera angles here and see if I can't get a couple of face shots. 115. It's a bit complicated because I got to constantly wiggle the cell phone around. But I think we're pretty good. My watch says we're still in the warm-up phase, so we're good. Wind is very strong. I don't know how much of it's coming through on the camera. Hopefully not too much. Phone's asking for a bit of a sprint here for 15 seconds. Let's see what we can do.
Lap 7, 15 seconds.
Morning. It also appears that I can't broadcast the heart rate data for my Forerunner to my Cadence app while the Forerunner is tracking the workout, which I guess makes sense. The only reason it worked in the last video is because I forgot to actually record the ride on my Forerunner. So we'll have to make do without the heart rate data for now. Another 15-second sprint.
Lap 11, 15 seconds.
Those long downhill sections on a bike always feel like cheating.
Lap 12, 1 minute.
The trade-off is you've usually got to go back up a hill. Let's do another sprint. I guess that hill was my punishment for enjoying that downhill section. Now we've got a real busy road to cross here, a 4-lane. And I think on the other side of it, we'll be able to get on the Colonial Parkway. We just have to get across this road first. All right, here we go. This looks promising.
Lap 13, 5 minutes.
And there's the end of detour. We're back on the Colonial Parkway. This is very nice. So according to what I read, this trail is about 36 kilometers long, and it runs from Yorktown all the way across to Jamestown, part of the historic triangle. One day I would like to come back and do it end to end. We'll put that on my bucket list rides that I would like to do. The other cool trail that's here is the Virginia Capitol Trail that runs from Jamestown 51 miles, 80 kilometers to the current capital of Richmond. We might get to see part of that on Saturday if all goes to plan. But that's another one in the future I'd like to come back and do end to end. I had to choose a small section of this one to do today because I've only got about an hour. And then we've got the day booked off to go to Busch Gardens with the kids. So between that and the construction, I figured we could get a portion of it in. Surface, this road is almost like hard-packed gravel. The camera's bouncing around quite a bit. It's a beautiful spot though. I tell you, I've been spoiled by the flat coastal lands of North Carolina and Florida. I'm not used to hills. That was almost tragic. I don't know how well this is going to work. Like I said, the reason to not do this is I spend too much time faffing around with the equipment. Not enough time focusing on my training. And the image stabilization on these Pixel phones just can't handle the bumps, I don't think so. There's K26, I assume that means kilometer 26. Be about 10 kilometers to go then. I'm also not sure we're going right to the end. I told my wife, who dropped me off back in town, to meet me at the Jamestown trailhead. But it's the trailhead of the Capitol Trail, not this one. So I'm not sure how long this is going to be. There's the wind. Do let me know in the comments if you've ever ridden the Capitol Parkway in Williamsburg. I'd be curious to know if there's any little hidden gems or secret places to stop and see the next time I come back to do this ride. That wasn't a good sound. Well, considering the amount of weight that this bike has been carrying around, especially on this back tire, that's the first spoke that I've ever had break. And I'm a little short on tools right now. So let me figure out exactly what I'm going to do with that. Nice fellow biker there, just stopped by to ask if I'm okay. And I think we're good. I got that spoke tied up out of the way for now. Looks like we've got about 3, maybe 4 kilometers left. We're gonna see how it goes. Kilometer 30. You know, I've kind of wondered why it seems like I'm not riding very far on my app and my speed seems a little slow. And I get a funny feeling that when I put the cadence app on this new phone that I'm using, I did not set it back to the metric system. And it's tracking in imperial units. Because it sure feels like I'm going faster than 10 kilometers an hour. I'm probably doing 16 or 17 if my theory holds. But I'm not stopping, so we'll find it on the next ride. Leave guts. I just heard a tree fall over in the forest. There's a choke there somewhere. This looks like a great place to stop and tighten up my camera mount. And while I'm at it, a little view of the water. The tree fell somewhere over there. It's a beautiful spot. So I just got a message from Jennifer. She's on her way down the trail to meet me. I don't want to take any more chances with this broken spoke. Hello, squirrel. Lots of squirrels here. So we'll run into her probably another kilometer or so up the road. And we're running out of time anyway. We've got 48 minutes on the clock. I only had an hour. And then we're off to Busch Gardens. So let's get a little bit further down the road, see a bit more of this beautiful trail. And when she gets here, we'll pack up the bike and move on to the next day's adventure. There's kilometer 32. And that looks like my ride. There's a little pull off just around the corner.
You said there's also that in that one too.
Yeah, just go right there.
Okay.
What's up, Coach?
Yeah.
I broke a spoke.